So it's been a while. It's been about 8 years. Well, to be honest, it's really been about 5 years and a few months. Um, but almost about, sorry, wait, 2008 to 2016. Yeah, that's 7 years. 7 years and a few months. Wow. Um, and I've got a bit of an update. This account has been kind of dead for a while, but I decided to start posting back on it because I remember the usefulness of it, and also because I've taken a long journey since 2008. Um, Lots of things have been happening. I've been infusing myself with self-development things since forever. No, since that time, since 8 years ago. Um, it's a continual journey. I've made a really close friend. I think about 2 years, okay, maybe about a year. No, 2 years after I had initially started this, and we have been discussing um, success theory, what it means to be successful, for many, many years afterwards. So that's about 5 years. Um, so things have changed. I'm looking back at my old um, recording from 8 years ago, and I'm thinking about now. And it's funny because there's a lot of things that I've learned, so many things that I've listened to, and I think that the best way to actually learn something is to recreate it, or to say it, or to share it, and that's what the purpose of this channel had always been. So I'm going to continue doing that now. So, anyways, so it's been 8 years. I look back on my life then, and I'm looking at my life right now. And what's the difference? Well, here's the difference. Um, I've fostered an extremely beautiful relationship um, since the time that uh, I've made my first recording. Fostered a very, very beautiful relationship. Um, and my girlfriend that I have right now will, I'm planning on having her for life and to marry her and everything. So that's one thing that's happened. Second thing that's happened, I've made very, very close friends. I already had good friends back at the time that I made my first recording, but now my friends are really, really close, and we've had many, many adventures, and we've done so many things. It's crazy. Um, Third, oh my God, I've read slash listened to so many different um, books, um, seminars, and just videos on YouTube, on TED Talks about success theory, um, and it's been very, very enlightening. I fed my mind a lot, so much since that time, so it's been pretty crazy. Um, Four, um, I have um, I've actually gotten really, really healthy since the first recording. Um, I was always a little bit overweight before, um, but I was able to reach my best weight ever. Um, it was mostly last year when I was at my peak. So far, I was basically the weight of Floyd Mayweather, and I was working out just as regularly too, and keeping myself as healthy as possible. Um, and I used that weight, Floyd Mayweather's weight, because it was funny. So that was about like one. I remember that I read on BoxingScene.com that he had just weighed himself, and he was like 152 or so, and I was like, hey, I'm the exact same weight as him right now. Um, Obviously, he dropped, and also I dropped to 150, but this is coming from someone who the year before, or I think it was a year and a half before, weighed about 200 pounds, and dropped 50 pounds. So my physical condition became really good. I learned how to be very healthy. I researched a lot on health and so on. Fifth thing that happened, I've developed a will. Will is the most important thing that I can say is that everybody needs. Everybody needs a goal. Everybody needs a vision. Everybody needs something to work forward, and a bigger picture of life. I won't say that I'm extremely 100% like, I'm not to the ranks of like Steven Spielberg or or you know uh, or let's say Alexander the Great or whatnot. But I've been learning a lot, and I feel like I have more of a focus on what's important to me and what I want, and also the idea that I need to contribute as much as I can possible in order to be successful. So sixth thing that has happened to me is that I've built a repertoire of ways to learn. I guess you can call it the ABCs of skills. I've come up with about 200 different ways to improve the way that I learn things. This includes basic things like a memory palace in order to improve my memory, but it's also included other things as well, such as like color coding information. And I practice this a lot on Japanese because I've been learning Japanese and I've been studying Japanese for a while. So utilizing this on a language was very important, and it gives me an idea of how fast I can learn something and how effective a method is. So I've been using that. 7. I've developed something that I guess it's called the ultimate form of taking action, and that's called speed. And when I say speed, it's not spelled the way that you would normally spell it, SPEED. It's spelled PCICPEED. PCIICPEED. Speed. And the PCIICP stands for Permanent, Consistent, Indefatigable, Intelligent, Concentrated, Phenomenal Speed. So speed is just speed, but that's what PCIICP stands for. Ultimately, it's the way that you want to conduct any sort of action that you have on your schedule. It's something that I've been developing, and it's also an idea that I've had for maybe 2 years now. So I've been using that. So that's good. So there's that. 8. This idea of amenities. I guess since the time that I've had this, I bought a car that's so much an upgrade from my normal car. Doesn't mean I'm super rich yet. It just means that I've increased my quality of life, as Zig Ziglar would say. Increase your quality of life. A very good car. I think it's 17 years younger than my previous car, and it's a high-end edition too, with a double moonroof or double sunroof, I guess, whatever you could call it. Built-in GPS, it's gold. It's really nice. So I have that, and I got that relatively quickly after, practicing all these different success ideas and theories. And I've been improving even more. I also have, back then at that point, I didn't have my awesome MacBook Air computer that I have now. extremely sufficient. I have a success journal where I write the 10 things that are most important to me every day. I've tried to do it every day. For the most part, I've been doing it over the last 2 years, I guess you can say. But I mean, there has been like lapses, since I'm not perfect. But it's definitely made a difference in my life. So there's that. Talking about that, I've also, from my success journal where I write all the things that's important to me, I have something that is called DW's famous priorities. Now, DW's stands for dreams and then why. So I list my dreams, I list why, why I have them. And then famous and priorities are things that, how should I put it? They stand for something too. So FMS stands for future failures, and then M stands for my masterpiece, and then S stands for schedule. The idea of famous, FMS, is when you have a goal in mind, and I have 10 specific goals for 10 things that are important to me, it's important to identify your obstacles, and it's also important to establish a vision in detail. What is it that you want? So that's why I have the failures there, to be aware of how I can fall short, and I have a vision, which is my masterpiece, which tells me how it should be. The S stands for schedule. Writing things down is all good and fair, but if you don't plan a schedule, you don't write a date to do something, chances are it will never happen. That's why scheduling is actually very important, because if you never schedule anything, chances are they will never happen. So that's why scheduling is important to me. Now priorities, so DW, famous priorities. So DW, dreams, why? Why do you first must write down your dreams. You must know why you want your dreams. You must identify the obstacles of your dreams. You must have a vision of how you want your dream to actually be clear. And you need to schedule your dreams. You have to date it and mark it so that you know when you can have it. Second, you need to know your connections, in order to, and what skills you need in order to have your dreams. So skills are important, and people are important. That's why relationships are important to me. Anyways, so PRI, at the end of the day, stands for Proud Progress, Reflective Redos, and Innovative Ideas. P stands for Proud Progress. What can I be proud of today? And I list all the things that I've done that day that I can actually be proud of, that correspond to my dreams and my goals. Reflective Redos is I look back on my day and I look at the things that I didn't do so well at, and I basically list them down so that I'm aware of how I have fallen short. Third is innovative ideas. The innovative ideas are there to address the reflective redos. What can I do knowing that this is how I messed up? What can I do in order to make sure that that doesn't happen? Innovative ideas, I suppose, and this is something I just thought of right now, can also go towards my proud progress moments. To take it a step further and be like, well, how could I have done this better? Usually I just use innovative ideas for reflective redos, but I'm realizing now that I can use it for my proud progress achievements as well. So DW's famous priorities are a big part of how I live my life. I write down, in detail everything, and every day I try to build up on that. That's also extremely very hard, but I try my best to do it. But anyways, so I have to, right now I'm in a point in my life where I'm very comfortable, and I've realized something. Being comfortable stunts growth. Being comfortable stunts growth. always does. So it's always important to not be comfortable all the time if you want to always grow. I know that sounds kind of bad. Shouldn't we be comfortable as we grow? That's true. It might sound like a good idea to do that, and I'm sure that there's a possibility of being able to do that. But I feel like that growth really happens when you're uncomfortable. The fastest you ever grow is the more uncomfortable you are when you say something. For example, it might be uncomfortable for me to say this, but right now Donald Trump is running for president, and I really want to see him win. I really do. The reason why I do is because I'm very curious about how somebody with that kind of background would run the country. It's something that's never happened before, so it's something that I'm very curious about. I think that deep down inside that he's a good person and he wants to help the country, and I think he's very intelligent and very clever. Despite there are some things about him, he's not a perfect person, obviously. But he's successful, and he's obviously successful in the polls so far. He's winning by a lot, so I want to see how that plays out. It's uncomfortable for me to say that because even my girlfriend, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for equality. I'm all for people getting along, and I think that Donald Trump is painted as somebody who's more of a divider although yes, he does divide, yeah. I believe that he's also a unifier, just because of the fact that you look at, I don't want to get too much into these times because in the future we'll be like, well, I've been thinking about this, but here's the thing. I'm noticing that people of all colors, are attracted to what he has to say, whether they're African American or Caucasian or Asian, like myself. I'm Filipino. But yeah, there's a lot. So I'm very, very, very much interested and curious to see how things play out. With that, it's been 8 years. Oh, ha ha ha! It's basically been the presidential term. But yeah, what has happened in the last 8 years? How will things change? I'm very curious, and we shall see. I'll try to continue talking here and updating this channel just because I feel like it's a great idea and it should be fostered. It should. So thank you so much for listening, and yeah, hopefully you'll hear more from Successful Thinker. Later.